Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one for you today. We're going to discuss a lot of news today. We're going to see if we can make it very tight. We're going to talk about the new CEO for Binance. I think you're going to recognize him. And then we're also going to talk about, I think it's Silvergate's got some news. And then there's also the motion to intervene with John Deaton. And it is straight fire. And we got some clips from Jeremy Hogan, who helps us all understand and break it down. Let's roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen, and everything that we're talking about here today. The numbers are brought to you by Unstoppable Domains, guys, and I'm going to tell you, Unstoppable Domains is unstoppable. In fact, they are rolling out the premium domain names again, and you will like it. And it's going to be this week, next week, and the week after, and it may even remain a weekly thing going forward. And you can look forward to this week and today, starting today. And I think it's later today it kicks in. You can get trader.crypto, portfolio.crypto, cash.crypto, and rich.crypto are going to be offered for the first time. This is pretty remarkable, guys. So make sure you check out those domains that are going to become available today. And in about a week from now, we got even more good news coming from them that is going to really show just how big cryptos are getting. That is going to be exciting. Just over $2 trillion cryptocurrency market cap right now at $2.9 trillion. It's actually dropped off quite a bit. Looking here right now quickly, let's go to XRP price here and look at that, because I want to move quickly through the news to get to where we need to for the motion to intervene. And John Deaton has done an amazing job for the XRP holders, and it is incredible. And we're going to have some clips from Jeremy Hogan breaking some of this down for us as well. So $1.32 right now. We're off 5.71% on the 24-hour, and we're off 22.16% on the 7-day. So we need to see the price stay above 133 would be the preferred thing to see here. We are going to look at some price calls in just a second. And there's a couple people out here that are still calling for a 185 and or higher price in the very near term if we can keep above that support line of 133. Right now, 131, struggling to get back to it. We're ranging between $1.20 and $1.38. We'll keep a close eye on it. Here's the news right here. Congratulations to former acting comptroller of currency Brian Brooks is now the CEO of Binance US. That is extremely exciting. So we, if you haven't seen the video from this morning, we really go down into that and a lot of other news. Make sure you go watch it. This is from Marcus Treacher, who reminds us just how big of a deal it is. It's really important announcement by Bank of England and HM Treasury, a big step on the road towards a UK digital currency. We covered this heavily yesterday. Please go watch that video if you haven't seen it. And it is extremely encouraging and a huge step forward to see the UK take those steps to really get to a point where they can test and then launch a central bank digital currency. And here's somebody else who's been out in front of the pack. It's the Central Bank of China may regulate Bitcoin as an investment alternative. Now, we talked about this the other day, but I wanted to just note for everyone that they did make the delineation that it is not a currency. Okay, so wherever you go in the world, you know, everyone's agreeing on one thing about Bitcoin, that it's not a currency. So I think that is an important thing to note as we move forward. Here we go. So look, let's get into this price analysis here. This was shared by DJ Peter Vass. Let's go ahead and open this and check it out. And I'm going to get to the long and short of it, and just so you can see. And they basically talk about the struggle to stay above that 133 support line. But if it does look good when they look at the Bollinger Bands, which are all charting tools, in the MACD indicator, and they combine these charting tools. And basically what they're saying is that they're looking for a place to possibly take profits at $1.85. according to their article. This is not financial advice from them or me. And I'm just saying that what we're seeing here is a call from the analyst that is basically suggesting that we have room to go up regardless of the bloodbath we've seen in the whole crypto space. And that's another thing I want to note very quickly too. It was the entire crypto space, and still is, that is taking a beating right now, and not any one specific token like XRP. So we'll keep that in mind. This is DIY investing, and they say XRP is going to pull a Doge, and there is nothing you haters can do about it. Commence moon mission now. Shout out to DIY investing, who has made some really good calls of late. We featured them the other day with some price calls they had that were lining up with a credible crypto Bull 2020, Crypto Wizard, and Dark Defender. And all of these analysts are using different charting tools to arrive at the same destination, which is what I have found interesting of late. So this to me is really important to make sure we keep an eye on the fact that if they stay focused, they all stay focused on their analysis that is showing higher ground. I think that's really worth noting here. So we will keep an eye on that, and shout out to all of those technical analysts that share their information with us. This is from DJ Peter Vass and says the SEC causing confusion over digital currencies in legal case with Ripple. And it is absolutely true. But you know what? John Deaton to the rescue says, not so fast. I think we could actually help clear the path for confusion here by bringing some real down-to-earth litigation and a motion to intervene onto the scene for the judges to get another perspective on what's going on in this case. And that's exactly what's happening here. Let's take a look at the little quick article here, because it is important. Attorney John Deaton, who has been on fire just crushing this stuff for XRP investors, a shout out to you, John, and everything that you were doing, has filed a motion to intervene in Ripple's legal battle with the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission on behalf of similarly situated XRP holders in a memorandum of law which outlined legal arguments in support of the motion. Deaton writes that its interests of investors are not adequately represented either by the SEC or by the distributed ledger company affiliated with the controversial token. As reported by UDOT today, the regulator attempted to block XRP holders from filing a motion claiming that its sole purpose was to reinstate speculative trading. However, the intervening defendants insist that many businesses have been hurt by the complaint, which is true. Many of the developers and individuals and small businesses have been slowed or halted due to the allegation that today's XRP itself as an investment contract and thus a security. Moreover, the memo states that XRP holders are determined to prove that XRP has the greatest utility of all cryptocurrencies. Well said there, John Deaton. Okay, so now John Deaton also describes the SEC warning as an avalanche of additional claims as fear-mongering, claiming that the interest of those holders who have brought a class action lawsuit against Ripple are already represented by the agency. Now, let's get right to this, because Jeremy Hogan lays it down here. And by the way, if you haven't seen the whole video, I definitely suggest that you go watch it. I'm going to get to some highlight clips here that really take us right to it. He's going to take us right into the filing of what's going on here, what the issue is. The SEC may not conduct discovery outside the scope of the federal rules of the civil procedure. So we're starting with the fact that Ripple has filed a motion to the judge saying that, you know, the SEC has used intimidation tactics with the memorandums of understanding, which is not the John Deaton case. We're going to get into that in just a second. So the SEC having used this intimidation tactic to impose their strength and will onto other market regulators in other countries, and then obviously to even push further to the Ripple customers that are not in the U.S. to divulge information. This is where we start, and listen to what Jeremy Hogan says about this.
And this is what is going on. The United States government has agreements called Memorandum of Understanding, MOUs, with other countries where essentially they can make requests of each other. So, for example, the SEC can go to the Japanese Security Agency and say, please ask SBI Corp for all documents related to the XRP security. And the Japanese Security Agency would say, wait, XRP is not a security. Donde mo nai, baka. Just a little joke there. So under the MOU, the Japanese security agency, which is called the Kinyucho, would respond by making the request to the SBI company, and then the SBI company would of course have to respond to their government agency with all of the documents that are related to XRP. And then the Japanese government would forward all those documents to the SEC. And all of this is done under a kind of a treaty agreement between the US and Japan. Now, not only is what the SEC doing outside the scope of the federal rules of civil procedure, but it's also outside of the court order issued by the judge regarding discovery in this case. And it also puts a burden and stress on Ripple's business partners getting all these requests from their government agencies.
Exactly. And now let's scoot forward here to right here and pick it up where he's at here, because it absolutely does make it a strenuous relationship between Ripple and their customers abroad, bringing this kind of action all the way across from the U.S. to these other countries. It's irreprehensible, and I am excited to hear what Judge Netburn and possibly Judge Torres may say to the SEC or do because of their unethical actions here.
Unless the SEC pulls a surprise out of somewhere, I think the SEC is in for another bad ruling against it, because it really isn't fair. Us lawyers would say equitable. You can't use the full power and authority of the US government in civil litigation against a private entity. No private party could go to Japan and force them to give them certain documents, and I don't understand why the SEC is doing this. And if I was the judge, I would be a little irritated that the SEC was making an end run around the rules of the court. So I don't understand what they are doing, and I think they are going to get hammered for it. And I could be wrong, but so far in this litigation, I'm batting about 900. So if I was a baseball player, everyone except the Yankees would hire me. Little Yankees jab there. But I don't think this ends well for the SEC.
Well said, Jeremy Hogan. Who doesn't love this guy? I mean, he's straight fire, man. I love it. And he just lays it down. And he has truly, and I think he's actually being modest. I think he's been batting more than 900 on this case and just calling where it's going. Let's pick it up right here and hear what he says.
Always start at the end. The first thing to note is that the XRP holders are coming in on the defendant's side against the SEC. Look at the case.
Okay, so very quickly, now we're switching over to the motion to intervene here, and now he's going to pick it up from there.
You have no idea how uncommon that is. The SEC is supposed to be protecting the holders of XRP, and here you have the holders coming in as defendants on the other side of the V. Now, this alone sends a message to the judge, and right away Deaton comes in and tells the court what the purpose of the XRP holders in the case is in paragraph 1. Quote, "The complaint filed by the SEC is a bewildering attempt to regulate XRP itself as a security. Rather than limit the allegations to defendants' specific sales and distributions of investment contracts, the SEC repeatedly claims XRP to be a security per se." And
now that is really the deal, is that we keep it very clear in our understanding to note that, this is really about the sales of the last 8 years over the counter directly from Ripple to customers, and those sales being securities, not the asset itself. Let's keep listening.
He is correct. It's not XRP itself, which is just an alphanumeric sequence really, which is a security. It's the sale or sales that must be analyzed of XRP. And Deaton hits them with this on page 2 in the quote from the Telegram case, quote, "The security was not the gram itself, not the cryptocurrency itself, but the entire scheme that comprised the purchase and undertakings by Telegram," close quote. Now, I love the reference to the Telegram case because the SEC's attorney in the Telegram case was the same as in the Ripple case, so that maybe be a little jab in there. And again, the SEC has only itself to blame for being in the position to have to try and make the argument that XRP is somehow a security in and of itself because it waited so long to file the litigation. In the Telegram case, the sales of the Gram coin took place in 2018, and the lawsuit was filed in 2019 after only one sale, making it a very clean case for the SEC. With Ripple, there have been, I don't even know how many sales, ever since 2013, hundreds. So if the SEC doesn't allege a kind of per se security status, are they going to go in and gather facts about each and every sale and argue the facts over 100 different sales? No, that would be an absolute mess. So the SEC is left really with this general vague argument about XRP being a security per se.
Absolutely well said, Jeremy. And again, shout out to John Deaton for putting this kind of pressure on this case. I tell you, John Deaton is the one thing and the one element that not us, not Ripple, not SEC saw him coming. And I tell you something, it has been one of the best things to watch about this whole mess unfolding, because I think John Deaton just really is just, honestly, he's shining like the light of truth. It really is cutting through this like a hot knife through butter. Let's keep listening.
At that, under the federal rules, in order to get involved in a lawsuit, you really basically have to show that the applicant asserts an interest relating to the property or transaction that is the subject of the action, that it would be affected by the lawsuit, and that the applicant's interest is not adequately represented by the other parties. So the XRP holders have to show that they have an interest in the lawsuit and that Ripple will not adequately represent their interests. The first part is relatively straightforward, because if XRP is deemed a security, there'd be no feasible way to trade it, at least not in the US, so of course there's an interest that's affected there.
Plus, let's not rule out the fact that Brad Garlinghouse, Dilip Rao, and Michelle Bond, and many other people at Ripple have made it very clear over the years that they are not a consumer-facing product, which means we are not geared towards the noisy retail investor. And that's why we're happy to have John Deaton on the case.
I think the more difficult part will be the argument that Ripple, the company, will not adequately defend the XRP holders' interest. And I thought that that's where Deaton would start, but I really like what he does here. Instead of talking about Ripple first, he starts with paragraph 1, quote, "The SEC does not adequately represent the interests of XRP holders," close quote. That is brilliant, and it leads to this, quote, "Clearly, the SEC is either unaware of XRP holders' use of XRP, or they are choosing to ignore such use for litigation reasons," close quote. Ouch, that hurts. The people you are supposed to be protecting saying that you don't give a crap about them. Man. And then this right afterwards, quote, "This statement alone proves that the SEC fails to truly understand or appreciate the threat to XRP holders' interests that the overly broad and vague allegations contained in its complaint against Ripple and XRP holders have caused. There are literally hundreds of businesses and developers independent of Ripple and its executives utilizing the underlying technologies of XRP and the XRPL. Many of those developers and individuals and small businesses have been slowed or halted due to the allegation that today's XRP itself is an investment contract and thus a security," close quote. Love it. Now, remember, this motion to intervene can only address certain issues, and Deaton has championed certain allegations online about why and how this lawsuit was filed, Hinman and Clayton, and how they were paid, and by certain interests, perhaps adverse to Ripple now. But anyway, that may still come into this litigation, but now is not the time. Now that has to be later, so don't get frustrated if you don't see everything in here. This is
And that is right. You know, you got to take your steps as you can, right? So let's go ahead and get to what Jeremy Hogan puts forth as what he believes could be the 3 possible outcomes to this motion to intervene from John Deaton here. Let's listen to this.
At this point, the judge has 3 options with the motion to intervene. First, allow the XRP holders in as a party to the lawsuit. Second, allow them in only to submit 1 brief towards the end of the case. It's called an amicus brief. Or third, not let them in and not let them have any involvement at all. And so finally the question becomes, what will the judge do? What will she do? And the short answer is, I don't know. The case law says the judge has almost complete authority on the issue to do whatever she wants. Now, my instinct is that she will allow XRP holders in only a limited involvement type situation. That would keep the XRP holders from sticking their nose into discovery and depositions and all that kind of stuff, but allow them to submit briefs to the court about their positions and such. I don't know what she's going to do. But maybe more importantly, I don't care. Yes, I might want it to happen, but really the damage has already been done to the SEC's case. Judge Torres will review this motion herself and the accompanying answer to the lawsuit. She will quickly see that something is not right away. she's going to be thinking, why are the purchasers of securities on the side of the defendant and not on the side of the SEC? That is completely backwards and will instantly draw her attention to what is going on here. She is also going to see that people and companies are using XRP for all kinds of stuff. She's going to look at all of the use cases. And most importantly, she is going to see that real people with real names are being hurt and will be hurt if the SEC is successful. And that is exactly the opposite of what is supposed to happen in these actions. So
there we go. And you know what? It's funny to me that the SEC finds itself in a position here that they have to literally try to prove that XRP has no use case. I only say to you this before we wrap here today, and it's this. Have you ever heard of MoneyGram? Year on year, the deal with MoneyGram and Ripple made their company better, more efficient by using XRP and ODL. You don't even need to point out the hundreds of other places that it's happening. That alone dismisses any notion that the SEC is trying to establish that XRP has no use case. And with that, case dismissed. There we go. That does it for me. Before we get out of here, though, I do want to show you link to, ladies and gentlemen, you have to be an accredited investor. And if you don't meet it, it doesn't matter. You can still get linked to SPVs. Look at all these new additions. Standard Cognition, Uphold just sold out again. And if you want to get it, you better be ready for it. But if you're not an accredited investor and you don't qualify, you can sign up and register with Link2. And you can get the Exam FX for a coupon code through them. But you have to register with them and get it from them at Link2, and you can pass the Series 65. There's a couple people out here studying to get it done. You might buckle down for a week or two, and you can take all these different sources of information they give you to prepare. They have a digital Series 65 practice test that you can take countless times over and over and over until you're ready. And they even say if you score an 80% on it, they guarantee you'll pass the actual FINRA Series 65. How about that one? So there's no more excuses. If you want private equity, which I believe is a great advantage to be able to participate in private equity before it goes public, then you need to check out Link2 and register with them, because this is a lot closer to being in your portfolio than you even think. That's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Make sure you share with somebody you know. Check out all the links in the description box and the comment section. They are really great products and services that I use each and every day, and they're trusted, vetted links. I'll catch you on the next one.